Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Project Veritas at it again. James O'Keefe and his investigative reporters getting all sorts of information from big tech, including some statements from that garden gnome CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey saying the following about what Twitter has planned. It's much bigger than just deplatforming President Trump.
Just to close out a little bit, we are focused on one account right now, but this is going to be much bigger than just one account, and it's going to go on for much longer than just this day, this week, the next few weeks. It's going to go on beyond the inauguration. We have to expect that. We have to be ready for that. So the focus is certainly on this account and how it ties to real-world violence, but also we need to think much longer term around how these dynamics play out over time. I don't believe this is going away anytime soon. And the moves that we're making today around QAnon, for instance, is one such example of a much broader approach that we should be looking at and going deeper on. So the team has a lot of work and a lot of focus on this particular issue. We also need to give them the space and the support to focus on the much bigger picture, because it is not going away. The U.S. is extremely divided. Our platform is showing that every single day, and our role is to protect the integrity of that conversation and do what we can to make sure that no one is being harmed based off that. And that is the focus, and that is the color we want to provide.
Couldn't you just listen to him talk all day? Isn't he just so enjoyable?
Uh-huh.
For more on this, pleased to be joined by Terry Schilling. He's the executive director of the American Principles Project. The American Principles Project has launched a petition in support of regulating big tech. Terry, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan. Always love coming on.
So your reaction to, Jack Dorsey's statements there that Project Veritas was able to obtain, as well as his tweets the other day talking about how it was a difficult decision to ban Trump. It was he feels like it was a failure, but it was also the right decision, and he's working with other people to chart a course going forward. And now you heard from him in his own words what that forward-looking course may be as it pertains to more restrictions on his platform.
Yeah, so I think at the heart of where Twitter has gone wrong and where Silicon Valley and the big tech world has gone wrong is there's an inherent anti-Americanism. And I don't mean that in like they don't like America or they don't, they want America to fail. What I mean is they reject the founding principles of America in that, our founders believed in the people and they had an optimism in everyday people to be able to handle things. That's why they gave us the right to vote. And these Silicon Valley techs, they reject that. They don't even trust us to be able to handle information they don't want us to have, right? Like they want to censor us. They want to shut down. They think that if you listen to Donald Trump talk about voter fraud and lack of integrity at the ballot box, you're going to go blow up the Capitol building. That's actually what they're arguing now. And so they have to save us from that. And I think that that's ultimately going to be their demise. And unfortunately, we're going to have to rebuild everything after that if they allow us to. I mean, there's real concern that the monopoly is so deep that, you saw what happened with Parler. Parler was the build your own solution to Twitter censorship, and they ended up shutting them down through their servers, through Amazon.
I suppose
we're in a really.
I suppose one of the lessons from Parler, though, too, is from the Parler example is, you shouldn't rely on your enemies to provide support for your project. And, frankly, Amazon Web Services is not going to be an ally of people who believe in free speech as imagined by the founders.
No, that's exactly right. And the thing that's been glaringly, obvious now is that we do have to rebuild everything. Building a whole server platform very difficult, and it takes a lot of resources. But we've been asleep at the wheel. We've been convincing ourselves that these corporations just want to make money. Well, they don't just want to make money. They have a lot more interest in controlling people than we thought.
Well, eventually President Trump is going to get his voice back on some platform. How is it going to happen? What do you see in the future? Because they can't silence him forever, right?
Exactly. And the thing is that maybe you don't want to silence him because of what comes next. You know, I mean, if you shut down Trump, there's going to be some leader that rises up to address the concerns of these people. Trump, what people don't seem to realize, at least in Silicon Valley, is that Trump is a symptom of what's happening in this country. He's representing millions of Americans who feel left behind. And people have actually done the studying of this, and they suggest that it's the Ross Perot vote. Of those working class people who feel like the elites, the business elites in the Republican Party and the government elites in the Democratic Party don't care about them. And that movement, as we've seen, has only grown, and it got 75 million votes last election. So, there's been a lot of speculation about what Trump's going to do after this. He could start his own, online platform like Twitter alternative, or he could start his own news network. We'll see, but the guy's definitely not going away.
The bigger problem is the premise, right? With respect to the standards that are being set, and this shouldn't be surprising from the social media platforms, because there's the same standard that has long ago been set on college campuses, and then in corporate boardrooms. And they have much more cultural influence than does the government. And the standard is this: with respect to expression, if the consumer or the person listening is offended, it feels threatened, feels unsafe, then you should be censored. So everything is ear or eye of the beholder, no matter how unreasonable. And so it's very simple to silence your opponents, and the left figured this out a long time ago. You just characterize speech as hate speech. You characterize the speaker as a violent extremist, and then what you're doing in censoring them isn't censoring them. You're providing for the public safety. And that's exactly the explanation that Twitter provided in banning Trump.
No, that's exactly right, Dan. And the thing is, we all kind of poo-pooed the college stuff, with them indoctrinating the kids. Is we said, oh, well, they're Marxists now and they're crazy now, but wait till they get to the real world. Wait till they get, a real job and they have to survive there. Then they'll change. Well, now they've taken over the real world and they haven't changed. And they're setting the standards and the values of all these companies that they're enforcing on the American people. And it's really, really scary.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm not worried about Trump being silenced. He's not going to be silenced. The left really doesn't want him silenced, thus the impeachment. Unites Democrats, divides Republicans. They're trying to keep him around as a whipping boy as long as they can. I'm worried about smart people being silenced. I'm worried about regular people being silenced and marginalized and pushed out of the political arena, and maybe pushed out of professional callings too, and what that portends for this country in terms of peace and pluralism. Because if that's what you're doing, you're not going to have either peace or pluralism.
No, that's exactly right. And it really is what's at the heart of this country. Is they wanted the power to be put in the hands of the people, and they wanted, they wanted a million experiments going at once. They wanted information to flow from the bottom up, not leaders telling us what to do from the top down. And we need to get back to that. We need to get back to the free expression of ideas and experiments. And even with this COVID stuff, I mean, we've had a great silencing of alternative ideas. And it's at that same root is this belief that the people are dumb. They can't be trusted to decipher good information versus bad information. And we just need to realize, the elites can be just as wrong and just as bad as the people can be. So we just need to trust people to make the right decisions and give them as much information as possible.
Here's some rather disturbing data. Scott Rasmussen polling finds 25% of those surveyed on the question of whether or not we should divide America into red states and blue states, formally divide America. 25% support dividing America into red states and blue states. Interestingly, regular churchgoers more likely to favor a red America and a blue America. 40% of those who attend church more than once a week support the move.
I think that's rooted in this fear that we have now. And what I think the fear is this, the Democrats' rhetoric has gotten so extreme. I mean, look, I don't support what happened at the Capitol by any means. But, they're talking about Trump supporters, and they're referring to them as domestic terrorists. You had that PBS executive talk about, how after Biden wins, we're coming after the children of Trump supporters, and we're going to put them in re-education camps. I think there's a real fear among the base conservative voters. They think that the Democrats are coming for them. And in a lot of ways, they have been coming for them for a while, right? When the PBS executive's words came out about the re-education camps, it's like, well, I guess you have to have some other type of re-education camps now that the schools are all shut down and the universities are mostly closed. But I don't know. I think there's a real fear that people now want to shrink back and just protect what they have and make sure that their families are protected from any type of government overreach. I think that's the root of what you were seeing in that poll.
Terry, we had a realtor here. She worked at A.P.P. Properties in Chicago. She went to the Trump rally in D.C. She didn't storm the Capitol. She didn't go in. She didn't get arrested. And she got fired because she attended the rally. That's some scary stuff.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. And are we not free to have our own beliefs about the election not being conducted in a fair way? I mean, this was an extraordinary election conducted with mass mail-in balloting in all of the key swing states, and we've never done that before in those states. I mean, I think it's fair to say that, there was probably some ballot harvesting. There was probably some fake signatures on these ballots. There's questions that we need to answer. And at the heart of this country is fair and free elections and the consent of the governed. And I don't know. It's really terrible, and it's scary that someone can get fired, or now they're talking about losing your job based on your political views. It's crazy.
He is Terry Schilling, Executive Director of the American Principles Project. Terry, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Thanks, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Take charge of any situation on the road ahead with Start All Jump Pack and Portable Power Bank. With the lightweight lithium-ion Start All Jump Pack, you're guaranteed portable power when you need it most. Never be stranded again. Whether you've left your headlights on, your engine won't start in the cold, need to fix a flat tire in the dark, or you're just social distancing like a pro, trust the convenient, reliable power of Start All Jump Pack for all your adventures on the road ahead. Buy yours today at startalljumpppack.com and jumpstart your engine, light up any situation, and power a phone, portable air compressor, laptop, or speaker. With Start All on hand, don't fear the unknown. Take charge. Shop now at startalljumpppack.com. Features include easy-to-use Protect All safety technology, 500 lumens of LED emergency lighting, an AC outlet, 12-volt DC auxiliary power socket, USB adapters, and 6mm power jacks. Buy now at startalljumpppack.com and take charge of any situation.
With all the talk about record gold prices, dealers are pushing people to load up on precious metals. And that might be good advice depending on your circumstances. However, many people are at a different point in life and have owned or inherited rare coins and precious metals for many years. If that is you, this might be the perfect time to take advantage of the high precious metal prices and increased interest and demand for rare coins. Unlike most of his competitors, Nick Grovich, owner of AmFed Coin and Bullion, actually wants to buy your silver, gold, platinum, and rare coins, and he'll pay top dollar. He's the fairest person I know in the industry and will treat you right. If you're not sure if any of your coins are valuable, he'll even review your collection for free. Call AmFed today, 800-221-7694, or visit AmericanFederal.com, 800-221-7694, and AmericanFederal.com.
This is Charles Osgood. We all know, because we've been told over and over, how important it is to eat a balanced diet and that the nutrients in fresh fruits and veggies are essential to good health. Fine. But for me, knowing that and eating as if I knew it are two different things. I'm a meat and potatoes guy and always have been. So I was thrilled to find out that Balance of Nature capsules concentrate 31 different fruits and vegetables with no extracts or fillers and with all those phytonutrients we need to be in top form. Balance of Nature. It's well named. To touch all the bases, what I do is to take a few of the fruit and berry capsules, the red ones in the morning, and the green veggie capsules later in the day. My body and brain never had it so good. With nutrition well balanced as nature intended, no wonder that these days I'm feeling so splendid.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. President-elect Joe Biden has a historic opportunity to meet the moment with his inaugural address. All Americans should be praying that he delivers the speech of his life, and it will need to be, given the